Alrighty, what is good, guys? What is good? No trades today. Couple opportunities may have presented themselves, maybe with the break of the zone, but volume was so slow. Markets were moving with very little direction, very little pace for me to have an ideal trading day. I'd rather not take that trade and kind of go into tomorrow risk free versus kind of coming in and getting either one stopped out or two kind of just getting caught in a choppy range like we would have probably gotten caught in right here. But again, so looking at previous market structure, I think this is super important and it'll give you a clean sense of where my head's at, right? You can look across the board. This is a range price does not get stuck in for a long time, right? So what we are going to end up noticing is price won't consolidate in this area for too long. I think the two moves we could see and anticipate, or I guess I should say three. One would be the breaking of this structure here to kind of retest, to kind of put us back into this overall consolidation. The other one would be kind of us retesting and showing resistance to this overall newfound resistance, previous support of that consolidation to again tap back down into there. And then the third would be more of an impulse entry if we break below this zone, which would also be breaking below that previous resistance to the left on the hourly, to overall target that move to the downside right here. So these are the three setups I think hold a lot of value. We'll see what London session brings. We'll see what the Asian session kind of holds, and we'll reiterate these points in the morning if any of this comes to light or any of these moves kind of get taken over. But I think what we're seeing is one, lack of bullish momentum, right? We had one hourly candle or two hourly candles today print green, and both those pretty much got swallowed up. This last one was right at the end of the day. But again, using previous market structure and looking at how prices previously traded in this zone, that's why it's important to have these ranges and zones kind of mapped out. You can look across the board and see where price has previously reacted, whether it's the top side or the bottom side. And going back on the 4 hour, what you're seeing here is if price does break below this zone, we have a high probability of tapping into this next zone, right? Boom, boom, kind of that boom right here, and using that to our advantage, right? So we have one on the hourly, we have this resistance right here, or overall, I guess, bottom support. If we break that, we have a high probability and a clear move to the bottom side to this next structure. You can see these zones are super valid, hold very, very much info, and all high time frame data, which when you correlate it to the lower time frames, it gives you that really clean move, really clean idea of where price should begin to struggle within that overall trade. So again, if we break this structure here to the left tomorrow, we should have a clear path and no problem to tap into this overall move. If we see price get stuck within this range overnight, looking for that pullback to overall target this move and then hopefully the breakout to catch that big move tomorrow. If for whatever reason price does flip bullish and wants to eat up this overall downward move we saw today, looking for price to break back into this overall consolidation, use this as that newfound support once again, and tap into this overall resistance area to see if we can't break above to create a higher high. Again, those are kind of my ideas. They all hold value. They all hold suit. And using previous market structure and previous trading points within these levels to kind of back up the overall idea going in, right? None of this is complicated. None of this is super in-depth. It's more or less looking at the chart in depth on these higher time frames, looking at how price is reacting to some of these levels on the lower time frames, and then tying in that overall confluence with what's going on the outside of the markets and what's going on with the inside of the markets. Waiting for the setups to present themselves. Patience. We did have this overall move that I wanted to see break this line right here to catch this overall move. Volume was super slow, so we didn't execute on it. It's okay to not take a trade every single day, but when you are taking trades, make sure they're quality trades. Make sure you take them a couple other times throughout the week. Again, we've been waiting for this overall breakout of this consolidation range. So let's see if we can't catch the move to kind of break us either one off the top of this to catch down here or break out of this overall range again to target the bottom side once more. Again, I've been bearish for a bit now, and I'm thinking the markets are slowly reacting to the news. We did have some positive PMI news today that still couldn't bring price back up into that higher end end of our range here. So to me, all confluences are pointing to the downside. Whether we do get positive news going into Friday's session, and maybe we're setting ourselves up for that big bull run again to end the week. But in my opinion, we've got a ton of negative news in the outside world to, in my opinion, have that bearish mindset of a lot of traders. So if we do see this move broken here, we should have a clear path to the bottom side. Again, we have NFP Friday, so the markets could be a little bit slower going into Thursday's session, but they could also be moving pretty well. So keeping everything in mind, these are three setups, only three setups I'll be taking if price consolidates overnight, which I could see it doing. And again, using this as that newfound support once again to tap into the top side resistance, or if we hold resistance right here, looking for that move to fill this overall move like we saw yesterday take place. If we break these hourly wicks to the left, which is also that high time frame structure support, we have a clear move to the bottom side. NFP Friday, let's have a good end of the week. Let's crush one single trade tomorrow, and then take us into NFP to